Alright, so if you're the kind of person who sees a dark hallway in a game and says, yeah, let's walk right into that, then welcome, you're in the right place. This is your ultimate guide to 20 horror games you absolutely need to play before you become Ghost DLC yourself. We're talking creepy houses, cursed cameras, space aliens with zero chill, and puzzles designed by actual psychopaths. So, let's dive into a collection of games that'll make you laugh, scream, and seriously reconsider playing horror at night. Let's kick things off with Until Dawn Remake, aka the Cabin in the Woods Simulator Ultra HD Edition. This game drops a bunch of teenage stereotypes into a snowy mountain lodge with more red flags than a toxic relationship. You play puppet master to these love-struck, argument-prone, monster-baiting folks, deciding who survives based on your split-second decisions and whether or not you remember where you left the QTE buttons. It's a choose-your-own adventure filled with supernatural nonsense, ancient curses, and people constantly saying, "Let's split up," like they've never seen a horror movie in their lives. The remake smooths everything out with upgraded visuals so crisp, you'll see every terrified pore on their pretty little faces as they run, scream, or, more often, die because you fumbled a button. Honestly, watching them drop like scared dominoes is half the fun. It's chaos, it's camp, it's cinematic terror at its silliest and finest.
Hold on! Hold on!
Visage is what happens when someone asks, what if we made a horror game with the pacing of molasses, but also made it feel like your own haunted house is gaslighting you? This game drops you into a spooky suburban home that clearly missed every episode of Fixer Upper and instead binged The Exorcist while drinking too much espresso. Nothing makes sense. Lights flicker, doors vanish, creepy whispers echo from nowhere, and your sanity bar drains faster than your phone on 3% at a party. You'll spend half your time walking slowly, the other half looking over your shoulder, and the remaining half wondering why the bathtub is doing unspeakable things. Yes, that math doesn't add up, but neither does anything in this house. There's no map, no sense of direction, and no hope. Just vibes. Evil, unholy vibes. It's like playing PT on nightmare mode while a ghost stands behind you judging your life decisions. You'll scream, you'll cry while screaming. The Silent Hill 2 remake is a glorious return to the foggiest, most psychologically messed up town in gaming history. Picture this. You're James Sunderland, a guy who gets a letter from his very dead wife saying, "Hey babe, meet me in Creepy Town." And instead of calling literally anyone or questioning reality, he packs his bags and heads into a fog-thick horror hellscape like it's just another Tuesday. This remake cranks everything up. The graphics, the voice acting, the atmosphere, and yes, Pyramid Head still shows up with his big metal hat and "I'm not here for hugs" energy. The town is full of monsters that are basically physical manifestations of trauma, guilt, and what did I just step in? Horror. It's disturbing, emotional, and makes you question everything from life choices to hallway lighting. You'll think, maybe this isn't so bad, and then immediately regret that thought as something shrieks in a bathroom. The Quarry is like attending summer camp with a discount slasher film director and a cast of drama club rejects who think every decision is life or death because, well, it kinda is. You're in charge of a group of teens with the survival instincts of a sandwich, and every choice you make leads to wildly different outcomes. From romantic campfires to being chased by suspiciously athletic monsters through the woods. Everyone's got secrets, nobody trusts anyone, and you'll constantly scream at the screen, "Don't go in there," like that's gonna stop them. The writing flips between funny, weird, and, oh no, that escalated fast. While the game's visuals make sure you see every smirk, scream, and oops, I lost another friend expression in 4K glory. It's horror by way of teen drama, sprinkled with gore and supernatural mayhem. Honestly, it's like Riverdale took a wrong turn into Resident Evil and forgot how to behave.
Fuck you. I got you, motherfucker.
The Evil Within 2 is what happens when a survival horror game says, hey, what if we give the player just enough ammo to feel hopeful and then throw a flaming demon grandma at them? You're Detective Sebastian Castellanos, a man with more trauma than coffee in his bloodstream, diving headfirst into a digital hellscape created by what I can only assume is a bunch of interns with serious issues. The game mixes open-world exploration with nightmarish horror set pieces, including a haunted town that's glitchier than your favorite multiplayer lobby. Monsters pop out of walls, ceilings, closets. Honestly, they'd probably attack you during a bathroom break if the code allowed it. There are bosses made of body parts, ghost ladies who scream opera at you, and that one scene in the church that will haunt your soul longer than your student loans. It's scary, stylish, and just confusing enough that you're never sure if Sebastian is fighting monsters or just having the world's worst therapy session. Imagine being trapped on an oil rig in the middle of the ocean during a freak storm with something slimy, screechy, and very not OSHA compliant crawling around the pipes. Still Wakes the Deep takes that already bad situation and cranks the anxiety dial to "why did I sign up for this job" levels. You play as an electrician who probably just wanted to fix a few wires and collect a paycheck, but instead ends up tiptoeing through metal hallways soaked in mystery goo and screaming co-workers. There are no guns, no magic powers, just your very human legs and a strong desire not to become seafood. The rig creaks like it's alive, the monster sounds like it gargles chainsaws for breakfast, and your only real defense is closing doors and praying. It's wet, it's loud, and the only light you'll see is the faint glow of your bad decisions. It's like Titanic met Alien in the Scottish Sea and said, "Let's ruin someone's week."
Attention crew of the bearer. All personnel need to get to their nearest evacuation point. And don't you all get too excited now. You'll all be back at work in 15 minutes once I get all this nonsense straightened out.
Fucking bastard.
The forest, trees, birds, creepy stick figures dangling from branches, and the distant sound of your sanity slowly packing its bags and leaving. In Blair Witch, you play as a man named Ellis, who decides the best way to confront his traumatic past is to wander into the most cursed woods known to mankind with only a flashlight and a German shepherd named Bullet. Solid plan. The woods constantly change layout like they're playing Minecraft behind your back, and just when you start to feel safe, the game hurls psychological horror at you like it's trying to win an award for most dramatic forest. Your dog is the MVP, sniffing out clues and barking at things you can't see, while you stumble around wondering why the trees are whispering Latin. It's less about jump scares and more about slowly realizing the forest wants to emotionally dismantle you, one awkward tree at a time. They say you can't improve on perfection, and then Resident Evil 2 Remake came along and said, hold my herb spray. This reimagining takes everything iconic about the original, the zombies, the police station, the inventory management-induced panic, and polishes it into a glorious pile of undead nightmare fuel. You play as either Leon, I just got this job Kennedy, or Claire, I just wanted to find my brother Redfield, as they navigate a city falling apart faster than your will to live. Mr. X, a fedora-wearing, wall-smashing meat tank, is basically your personal horror coach, encouraging you to run faster, hide smarter, and scream louder. The lighting? Terrifying. The sound design? Made by someone who hates peace. The zombies? Built like they chew concrete and chase protein shakes with battery acid. It's tense, it's brutal, and it's got more gore than a blender full of regrets. Truly the remake we didn't deserve, but absolutely needed. So you're Isaac Clarke, just a regular engineer who woke up one day and said, you know what sounds fun? Fixing a mining ship full of reanimated space corpses. Dead Space Remake takes the original's industrial nightmare and slaps on enough graphical upgrades to make every necromorph look like they're auditioning for America's Got Talents. The USG Ishimura is basically a space-haunted house with 0 emergency exits and way too many air vents. You don't fight enemies, you dismember them, because apparently these things are allergic to limb loss. The sound design is next level. You'll hear things skittering in the walls, whispering in your ear, and occasionally singing creepy lullabies just to ruin your evening. And Isaac? Poor guy just wanted a space wrench and a paycheck, but now he's stomping monsters like a caffeinated exterminator in 0G. The remake is terrifying, gorgeous, and just stressful enough to make your controller sweat. In Outlast 2, you're not a soldier or a cop or even someone with enough sense to say nope when evil starts showing up. You're a journalist with a camcorder and 0 upper body strength, lost in rural Arizona, surrounded by cultists who skipped Bible study and went straight to the Let's Sacrifice People chapters. Everything's shot in found footage style, which means you're running through cornfields and abandoned shacks while looking through night vision. A feature that runs on batteries that somehow last about 12 seconds. You'll hide in barrels, under beds, and occasionally in your own sense of regret. And when the game isn't throwing pitchfork-wielding zealots at you, it's diving into surreal flashbacks involving schools, shadowy figures, and enough Catholic guilt to power the Vatican. There's no combat, no weapons, just you, a camera, and the overwhelming need to escape people who want to make you the main course at their cult picnic.
Temptation. I'm ready for the work now. Hide my eyes, just like you asked. All my anger been boiling down to a heart.
Fed for nothing but lies. God's truth is here now. Come to reckon. God, I lay these hands on this assembly and ask that you reveal the truth. Pray with me, children.
Offended the prophet.
Layers of fear is what happens when an artist locks himself in a Victorian mansion, gets a little too obsessed with painting the perfect portrait, and decides sanity is optional. You play as a painter whose main hobbies include hallucinating entire rooms into existence, having arguments with invisible family members, and watching his house twist itself into an MC Escher fever dream. There are no monsters chasing you. Just the slow, creeping realization that your brain has officially clocked out and left you with an all-access pass to the Madness Museum. You open a door and walk into a hallway. You turn around and boom. No door, just more hallucinations and a portrait that now somehow has teeth. The game is like being haunted by your own ambition and poor life choices. You'll question everything, the walls, the paintings, your graphics card, and especially why this guy keeps painting with what might be blood. or jam, probably blood. You know what's fun? World War I. You know what's even more fun? Being stuck in a World War I bunker with something lurking in the dark that definitely didn't come from the Geneva Conventions. Amnesia. The bunker throws you into the mud, the gloom, and the absolute worst lighting conditions imaginable. You've got a flashlight that you have to crank like it's a haunted salad spinner, and a monster that reacts to sound like it's playing hide and seek with revenge issues. Ammo? Rare. Sanity? Questionable. Hope? Somewhere buried under the rats. The whole place is a claustrophobic death maze of creaky doors, explosive barrels, and creepy notes written by people who clearly did not have a good time. It's part survival, part escape room, and all stress. You'll spend more time hiding in lockers than actually exploring. And when the monster finally finds you, you'll scream in a pitch that only ghosts can hear. Ever wanted to know what it's like to question the nature of your own existence while also being hunted by underwater robo-zombies? Welcome to Soma, the game that combines philosophical dread with the kind of oceanic horror that makes scuba diving look like a bad idea. You wake up in an underwater research facility with no clue how you got there, surrounded by malfunctioning machines that talk like your aunt after 3 glasses of wine, cryptic, glitchy, and emotionally unstable. The real horror isn't just the monsters that patrol the halls like robot sharks. It's the game asking you questions like, what is consciousness? And if your brain isn't a computer, are you still you? Existential dread has never been this moist. It's creepy, it's deep, literally and emotionally. And by the end, you'll be staring at a wall whispering, I think therefore I scream.
This is insane!
This one's like if Dead by Daylight went to film school, got a taste for blood, and started auditioning actors for a snuff film nobody asked for. The casting of Frank Stone is narrative horror chaos where you play as a group of young aspiring filmmakers who stumble upon the kind of horror movie script that probably should have stayed buried. Naturally, instead of running, they decide to shoot it. Genius. You bounce between past and present, watching reality slowly unravel like a cheap roll of toilet paper. There are choices, consequences, and a looming evil named Frank Stone, who sounds like a guy who sells you granite countertops, but actually specializes in creatively murdering people with tools from Home Depot. Every decision you make either brings you closer to survival or just makes your next scene bloodier. It's like Scooby-Doo with trauma, and no one's getting out without a few jump scares and therapy bills. Do you enjoy being a tiny, child-sized, raincoat-wearing mystery person trapped in a world full of things that want to eat you, crush you, or turn you into soup? Great! Little Nightmares is the beautifully grotesque horror platformer that takes all your childhood fears and turns them into weird, fleshy puzzles. The game is basically a waking dream directed by Tim Burton on a day when he felt extra weird. You sneak through kitchens run by chefs who look like melted potatoes, crawl through dollhouses designed by someone who clearly hated kids, and get chased by creatures whose arms stretch farther than your last paycheck. Everything's oversized, everything's hostile, and the entire world looks like it was designed by a disturbed art student during finals week. There's no dialogue, just atmosphere, dread, and the growing realization that you're not the protagonist, you're the snack. Tormented Souls is what you get when someone resurrects the PS2-era survival horror blueprint, injects it with extra weirdness, and says, "Let's see how many puzzles we can cram into a hospital before the player cries." You play as Caroline, a woman who wakes up in a creepy mansion-hospital hybrid, a great place to lose your memory and your will to live, missing an eye and surrounded by enemies that look like they were designed by a committee of nightmares. The game is proudly old school, meaning fixed camera angles, resource management, awkward tank controls, and puzzles so elaborate they make you feel like you're trying to break into Fort Knox just to open a door. 1 minute you're solving a riddle involving mannequin lungs and rusty keys, and the next you're running from something that looks like it was rejected from Silent Hill for being too much. It's tense, creepy, and weirdly satisfying when you finally unlock something without using the wrong crank for the 10th time. In Alien Isolation, you're not fighting the xenomorph, you're auditioning to be its lunch. This game is a masterclass in turning you into a paranoid mess. You play as Amanda Ripley, daughter of Ellen Ripley, and apparently traumatic space incidents run in the family. You're on a spaceship trying to survive against a 9-foot-tall murder lizard that has no chill and hears everything. You breathe wrong, it hears you. You peek out from a locker, it hears you. You think about crafting a noisemaker. It's already behind you. There's no over-the-top action here, just pure, sneaky, please don't see me survival, where every sound is a potential death flag. The game's AI is so smart, it almost feels personal. By hour 5, you'll be whispering to your controller like it's a hostage negotiator. The alien doesn't care about your progress, your objectives, or your hopes. It just wants hugs. Violent, head-biting hugs. This is the game where Resident Evil took a hard left turn and said, you know what's fun? First-person swamp horror. You play as Ethan Winters, a man who travels to the creepiest part of Louisiana looking for his missing wife and instead finds a charming little family that enjoys cannibalism, home renovation, and body horror. The Baker family is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre met Honey Boo Boo, and you're the unfortunate dinner guest. You get dragged through a mold-infested nightmare full of goo monsters, puzzles made by sadistic interior designers, and VHS tapes that guarantee trauma. The first-person perspective brings the scares right to your nose. You can smell the rot. You'll crawl through sludge, get your hand chainsawed off, and still somehow find time to reload a pistol like it's just another Wednesday. It's terrifying, tense, and you'll never look at a farmhouse the same way again.
Wait! Wait!
Let's talk about a game where your only defense against ghosts is a camera. Not a gun, not a blessed weapon, a camera. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water, is the paranormal horror simulator that says, hey, maybe ghosts just want their picture taken before they violently drag you into the abyss. Set around a cursed mountain in Japan, you explore creepy temples, haunted springs, and abandoned inns while dealing with spirits who are very photogenic, and also hate you. The camera obscura lets you exorcise them by framing a shot just right, meaning combat is a bizarre mix of photography class and full-blown panic. If you ever wanted to feel like a fashion photographer at a haunted Vogue shoot, this is it. The ghosts scream, lunge, and float like angry jellyfish, and your job is to stand your ground and shout, "Say cheese," while hoping your film doesn't run out. Stylish, spooky, and uniquely weird, this one's for the folks who want their horror with a little shutter click of style. After 13 years of Alan Wake wandering through plot holes and writer's block, he's back, and this time, he's even more confused. Alan Wake 2 dives deeper into the meta-madness, following our favorite flashlight-wielding author as he tries to escape a twisted dimension of his own making while simultaneously being hunted by darkness, deadlines, and probably his editor. The game switches between two protagonists, Alan, stuck in the shadow dimension, and Saga Anderson, an FBI agent dealing with her own case, and Alan's, "Oh no, my stories are alive" drama. The vibe is Twin Peaks on acid with a Stephen King overlay and Remedy's patented weird but it works design. The horror is cerebral, shifting reality under your feet, and at times feels like a therapy session with a haunted lamp. You'll shine your light to burn shadows away, solve puzzles that make you question grammar, and write reality like it's a really messed up Google Doc. This isn't just a game, it's psychological warfare dressed in flannel. And there you have it. 20 horror games so good, so creepy, and so delightfully unhinged, they'll haunt your memory long after you've rage quit and thrown your controller across the room. If you enjoyed this list, hit that like button like it's a cursed switch and subscribe for more gaming chaos, panic, and questionable life choices. See you next time.